perfunctories out of the way firstly. Fitness, health concerns, any coming into this game?
No, just Tasmita Kudus, who missed last week. He's unavailable. That's probably the only one at this stage.
And without asking you to spill all your secrets, how are you going to win tomorrow?
How are we going to win? Look, we've been strong defensively, bar one game that everybody's spoken about in the past, which we've forgotten. But yeah, defence is key, and I think South Melbourne have been strong defensively as well. And I think the best defence or team that defends well in a big final will play a big part tomorrow.
I guess question for both ISIS with South Boys as well coming into this game. It's a battle of two huge historic clubs that have completely changed the way Australian football has been played in the past. From a Marconi perspective, is the badge a heavy one when you go out there tomorrow, when you take your position in the dugout? Are you conscious, are you thinking about that you're not just representing this current club, but every Socceroo, every famous figure that's ever been a part of Marconi in the past?
Since I took the job 9, almost 10 years ago, I knew the club that I came to coach. So I'm well aware of what it means, that badge means. As obviously a player that played in NSL, that played against Marconi, that played against South Melbourne, I'm fully aware of what it all means, and we're continuously educating the new generation of footballers that weren't alive basically when it all happened, and they're well aware as well. So yeah, there's no doubt our players, when they take the field, they know who they're representing tomorrow.
Yeah, look, as you mentioned, two of the biggest clubs in Australian football. I mean, it's been about 2-3 decades since we last won a championship, so I think that on its own is a big thing, and obviously Marconi being one of the biggest clubs in Australian football, it's a heavy badge. So going into this match, obviously we're going to do what we can, what's possible. We know if we stick to our game plan and we do what's required, then the result will should head our way. But yeah, it'll be a good game.
As you mentioned, there's such a proud history with both these clubs and supporters that have sort of stayed the path through it all. What show are you hoping to put on for supporters and to other people who are seeing Marconi tomorrow on a national stage?
I think, like any supporter, they want to see their team give it a go. Whether you're winning, you're losing, they really want to see that you play for the shirt, and that's with aggression, determination, a real passion to play the game, and we'll bring that. That's what we're about. We're a high intense team that like to close teams down, don't allow people to play, and then set their foundation to play some football and hopefully score some goals, and that's what it's about.
Yeah, basically going to repeat the same thing as he said, but as you mentioned, like we've built on defending on the front foot. In the last how many seasons we've had the best defence in the league, and obviously leading up to that last game in the group stage, which everyone keeps talking about, but we had the best defence in the competition. So that's a starting point for us, and obviously if we can defend as we've been defending, and obviously the rest will take care of itself.
You seem to relish big games with this particular group. Peter, have you ever lost a grand final? It doesn't seem like you have. I don't remember.
Yeah, I have.
You can't
I was at another club. Yeah, I have lost one. Yeah,
but
most of them have been pretty successful. Yeah, we've had a good run.
You seem to be able to prepare pretty well for one-off games. I mean, Marco, through your eyes, like what is kind of some of the process behind the scenes in terms of these like big occasions, one-off games, preparing for a specific opponent that this side and the coach relishes?
Look, obviously we do our homework, but we also at the same time we don't change this because it's a grand final. Nothing changes in our eyes. We've got to take it as any other game. We don't put any pressure on ourselves. Being the grand final, so we look at it as any other game. We prepare ourselves mentally and physically the way we need to prepare for the game. And again, like if we do what we know we can do, then the rest will take care of itself. It's something that I'll keep repeating and something that I've been saying for a while. That once we're on point and we're on the same page, then I'm not going to say we're unstoppable, but we'll be hard to beat.
Peter, do you give rousing pre-match speeches, or do you try and keep things low key and help the players relax? What's your kind of approach for this?
No. The message from when we obviously won the semi-final is to just enjoy the moment, enjoy the week. Don't get carried away. The occasion and some of these players, it's a first for them, especially on the national stage, let alone NPL. So it's just about keeping calm, and I think if I show that, if I give that aura of being relaxed and not nervous and not letting the occasion get the better of me, I think that sort of flows on to the footballers. And everything we do, we prepare like a normal game, like Marko said, and we focus on the opposition, we focus what we're going to do, what the job is, and not really get carried away about any other, variables that are thrown our way. So that's important. Keep calm, show them that it is important. They know, they see the social media and how big it is, and just make sure they relax and focus and be ready when the whistle blows.
Question for both, and you might sort of touched on it there, but I asked you about the historical context before, but are you thinking also about maybe the future context of this? This is your opportunity as a playing group, coaches of the club, to be trailblazers. There's only ever one club that can be the first ever champion of the Australian Championship. Is that something you're thinking about?
No, I think that's just the outcome of winning the game. We think about winning games. We think about winning trophies. Now, if all the rest of it come in, like you said, we're well aware of the situation that if we win it, we're the first. But that's not what we focus on. To be honest, that's nothing we talk about. That's not, if you look too far, then you'll trip over what's ahead of you, and that's this game against a really good team on tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I mean, it's another game, but it obviously is a big game. One that a lot of people have been talking about. Obviously, it'd be nice to be the first ones to win it, but again, like I mentioned before, we just go into game as any other game. Can't focus too much on being an actual grand final. Otherwise, as Pete mentioned, you trip over, you won't know what's in front of you, trip over. But it is a big moment, obviously, for the young guys who obviously can still do something and make a career out of it. It's a big chance to showcase what they're about, and obviously, hopefully get bigger and better deals out of this. But obviously, for myself, I can't speak. I can just say that to be the first one to win the trophy, it'll be a remarkable thing. But again, we just focus on the game like as any other.
And Marko, I guess this whole championship thing has been, I guess, a bit of a second chance for you to play on the national stage when obviously, you're a great A-League player early in your career, but obviously had a lot of injury troubles. What has it meant to you to be back on a national stage, nationally televised games under the bright lights again?
Yeah, look, it's not a bad feeling to get that second chance to be on the national stage. Obviously, it took a bit longer than what I would have thought, but it is what it is. But again, for me, it's just about playing games. I do it because I love the game. I've been playing for 30 plus years. I do it for my kids. They love watching Dad play. So if that keeps me going, for another 2-3 years, it is what it is. But just to be playing, just to enjoy football, that's the main thing for me. Obviously everything else is an add-on, and again, just to be playing the game and being fit and healthy is the main thing.
Do you have any words of wisdom for some of the younger boys in the squad? You Noah Anderson types who haven't been on this stage before, given you have so much of that experience.
Look, you don't want to put too much pressure on him. He's still young. He's only 17, but as Pete mentioned before, it's just enjoy the moment. It could be once, could be first of many, but just take it as any other game. Enjoy it, do what you can, get the best out of the game as possible. And then obviously you got to look for, people got dreams to move on to bigger and better things. So obviously for him it's just to worry about game by game and go from that, but enjoy the moment most importantly.
Marko, as you touched on, young players in this competition hoping to go on to bigger things. The way it's been structured, it's deliberately scheduled in a manner that ensures that a transfer window opens a few weeks after the league finishes. From what you've seen across not just Marconi but the competition, do you feel like some of the players in this competition have earned that opportunity to test themselves at a higher level through their play? Yeah,
100%. I believe even without the competition, there's been a lot of good players coming out of the NPL system, but just getting the chances is one thing, and but this obviously can open the doors for other opportunities, whether it's it's A-League or it's overseas. Obviously a lot of countries will be watching this game as well. We've been watching the championship, so it opens the doors in many other different avenues for them. But it does help. But there are a lot of good players who obviously there are a few players from Marpo and all that who have showcased what they're capable at a young age, and it is a stepping stone for them.
You've both kind of made comments in the past interviews and things about kind of people doubting Marconi only making you stronger. Where does that kind of fire come from?
It's been happening for years, to be honest. So
Well, it's the truth. We you know, most people have doubted us. I think even tomorrow, we are the underdogs to most people, from what I've heard or what I care to hear. But we use it to our advantage. You know, why wouldn't you? So, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, if it's there, I'll use it. If someone wants to throw something at us and they doubt us, well, you know, we're in that change room, we have a lot of self-belief. So, you know, regardless of what people think, if they're willing to doubt us, then I'm going to use that, and it fires them up, because they don't agree with it and they believe what we have in that change room, and I fire them up. I use it to my advantage to get them fired up for big games, and it seems to work, so I'll keep using it.
Does that this game is in Melbourne rather than Sydney help feed into that for tomorrow?
I think so. I think it's a matter of, you know, we're going to go into their space, into their hometown, and we're going to rob them of the trophy. That's how I look at it, and hopefully that's how the boys see it.